How can you make a cliche trope like a damsel in distress work without coming across as typical and boring? You choke them out. Rose Oriana might not be the deepest character in the series, but she might be the most diverse in what she can offer. She's a princess that... Wait a minute. Spoiler warning. If you guys are not caught up with the Eminence and Shadow, you'll have to end up marrying Perv Asshat and becoming part of his harem. And nobody wants that. This video will cover the Eminence and Shadow Season 2 Episode 10 of the Caged Bird, Kago no Tori. Like the previous episode, episode 10 has similar themes and similar characters that mirror season 1. Margaret's creepiness is very similar to Rose's, like when she was on the train. That one time Rose and Sid was going to the goddess trials. They may not be the same character, but they rhyme that resulted in similar outcomes from what you would consume from that scene. And cheers for our guy Asshat, an antagonist that made it beyond an arc into the next season, should be applauded. No one in this anime makes it that far as an antagonist or villain, and no one is going around banging the queen quite like Asshat. I think we can all agree that any guy that hits a girl unlocks the good guy senses out of us to go save that princess from any asshat out there. Honestly, if you want to create a good bad guy, make him take advantage of your favorite waifu and give him a reason to be a bad guy that you could kinda agree with. Who wouldn't want peace? Just not for you. If you didn't think Asshat was the best antagonist that this anime has to offer up until this point, then look again, or else the asshat is gonna choke you out. That takes us to Rose Oriana, our quintessential damsel in distress trope, getting F'd in the A by both sides of the equation. Shadow Garden wants to murder you. Really, it's just 559. The Cota Diablos wants to force their hand right on your throat. Piling on top of that, your mom is getting suplexed by some asshat. Rose's situation is very distressing. And here comes our boy Sid Kagano. Sid has a few booby moments with Epsilon, steals the ring from the ass cheeks, ditches the girl that wants to tap his ass cheeks, survives the jealous guard that wants to beat his ass cheeks. Sid Kagano is here to save our girl Rose Oriana from being Miss Ass Cheeks. Once Sid got to Rose's room to convince her not to be Miss Asshat and to live out her role as the tyrannical Queen Oriana, this scene has the makeup of every cliche damsel in distress moment that you can think of. What made this scene different? You guessed it. Comedic irony. Add in some cookies and you got comedic timing. There's nothing like saying something serious and then taking a bite out of some royal cookies. Asshat will get it. Where every line that Sid and Rose says can be spit out of ChatGPT, except ChatGPT can't account for comedic timing and irony. Sid wants Rose to play it like the imminent script he envisioned as the tyrannical Oriana queen. With Asshat, she can't take over the world after a cliche line like, "Follow your dreams."
I can't.
You've always went against the grain.
You just don't understand.
You mean everything to me.
While I'm giving you my cookies, I have to be with Asshat. This is my final wish.
The genius in this scene is incredible. They take the damsel in distress and then you have the hero's trope. They combine the irony of the story of what Sid wants and they combine the irony of what Rose thinks to make something that is a cliche scene into epically funny. And this is why the Eminence and Shadow is great at satire. Combine that with the cookie crumbs on Sid's face. This is hilarious. And it is of course revealed that Rose is getting choked out by Asshat, that he's choking out her mom too, but for funsies. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound like blackmail. Either way, Rose is getting blackmailed by Asshat, threatening to pound her mom into oblivion if she doesn't marry him. In the end, Asshat's plan of joining the Knights of Round, gaining access to the best red pill drugs ever, gaining the upper hand over everyone, including Mordred, is all coming into fruition. It's all because he has the key to make it all work, the symbol that marries his plan to utter orgasmic completion.
ド M 無血ハット、こっちこっち。
Unfortunately for Perf Asshat, his orgasmic plan is in Sid's hands now. In the end, this episode continues everything that we already know about Sid. Even though Margaret is a new character, she is used the same way Rose was already used in season 1. Him stealing money is nothing new. It is a motif, if you will, of him just stealing money and wanting money for obvious reasons. The Shadow Garden ladies fawning over him is nothing new either. While this episode features Epsilon more, she isn't used in a particularly new way that shows a different characteristic out of her. Early in the season, we actually got to see Beta in a new light, which made her character a little bit more refreshing. Even the booby jokes between Epsilon and Sid, those are to be expected. Now, I'm saying all of this not in a bad light, because this is what the episode is, which is a setup. Instead of some climactic end, it was an important plot point between Rose and Sid. With Asshat choking the bitch, you had to have felt for her in that situation. In the end, there is that epic bad guy monologue, which is clearly about to go really wrong for him. So after saying all that, the highlight is always going to be that parody between Rose and Sid, and it's the growing hate for an actual clever bad guy that actually gets to get away with it, even if it's not gonna last that long. This is another good episode like the last one that is still setting something up, but these are the kind of episodes that are followed up by a big payoff. If you are aware of Rose's true goals and why she joined Shadow Garden, it shouldn't really take you by surprise at what happens next, with Sid holding this key to some magical power that has the ability to kill 100,000 people in one night. So I don't know actually what happens. I haven't read the manga or the light novel, but these are all things in the episode that hints at us to tell us what might come next. And that's what I like reviewing about when it comes to just the anime and what happens within the episode. A lot of people just like to talk about what they already know and the things surrounding it, but I like to talk about what actually happens within the episode and what they're trying to convey to us, whether it's misdirection or not. But what I love here is just the parody between Sid and Rose. That is, out of the whole episode, that would be the climactic part of the episode, is to give us that scene, that plot point that takes us to the next part, which obviously sets up Asshat's scene where he has this epic bad guy monologue, but we all know is about to go terribly wrong. At this point, what's happened in this arc, it's very formulaic, which is, I mean, their formula works. I really like it. But sometimes there has to be a little bit of twist to kind of make it more fresh feeling and give us a little bit more insight than what we already know. That will be my main criticism for at least these past couple episodes. It's still very enjoyable. The comedic irony is still on point, and the comedic timing of them cookies, it works out really great. When Sid says something serious and then takes a moment, a brief pause, and takes a bite of that cookie, that adds to that funniness of that scene, and I just love it. You know, for comedians, a lot of it is delivery and comedic timing, and that's the same thing that you could say for Sid and with the cookies. It's all about how you deliver it and the timing of it, and that's what makes this series incredibly funny. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.